Going to get started. Please finish your warm-up frames. We'll be changing the scoring in just a moment. Welcome to Boutwell's Bowling Center in Concord, New Hampshire for an ACST match here on a Sunday afternoon at Lakeside Lanes. Hello, I'm Steve Gelly. Welcome to Boutwell's Bowling Center. Christos anesti, Alithós anesti. It's Sunday, April 12th. It's Orthodox Easter. Let's celebrate by doing some bowling today. It's going to be Chase Abarmczyk and Chris Curley, and let's get going. The match format today is 5 strings with 14 points available for adding to your regular season ledger of wins and losses. Each string is worth 2 points. Total pinfall is worth 4. Any ties divided by 2. Today's away bowler is Christopher Curley, and he'll begin on lane 24 at Boutwell's with a 5 drop and a spread eagle minus the 7. It's the 2, 3, 4, 6, 10. And here comes Chris, who will take 2 more out on the second ball, leaving the 2, the 3, and the 4 pins. And he'll finish with a 7 box to open up our 5-string series today. So again, welcome to Boutwell's Bowling Center. I'm Steve here in the broadcast booth. 3-ball spare welcomes you to this ACST match featuring Chris Curley and Chase Abarmczyk. Candlepin bowling is based out of New England in Canada, and it's a bit different from 10-pin. We don't clear the dead wood around the pins, and there are 3 balls per frame if no strikes or spares are thrown. Chris Curley drops 4, and then the second ball goes where the first ball went, into the gap. Candlepin bowling is much more difficult than 10-pin. It has more entropy, a lot smaller targets, no oil patterns, and the averages in the ACST can range anywhere between 82 and 128 at the extreme ends, and that will be a 6 box for Chris Curley. 7, 10, 4, 6 leave, a 7 box in the first, and a 6 box in the second for 13 through 2 for Mr. Chris Curley. Subtitles and live captions are available should you need or prefer them. YouTube should have a transcript feature handy as well. And there is an 8 drop on the head pin on the pocket by Chris Curley. That is the 4 and the 8 pins down there. Every once in a while I might verify scores if things seem out of sync. The scoreboard you see on your screen is separate and unofficial from the bowler's official records. If there's any conflicts, I'm going to go with what they have. They have a separate scoreboard that I can see off screen. And there's a 9 box for Chris Curley. That puts him at 22 through 3. If you're watching this on YouTube later on, I'm going to have chapters added to that video so you can jump to portions of the match at your leisure if that is your preference. If you like this content, please consider subscribing to this channel to help us grow. And there's Chris Curley. He'll open things up with the marks department with a strike. The strike store is open for business with Chris Curley performing the opening ceremonies, dropping 10 in the pit. Look at that nice smooth ball right down the pocket. Mixed down 10. The strike ball. Here comes Chris working on a strike for a double. Everything goes down but the 6 pin. He's got a 9 fill so far on that strike fill. And he's got a single pin spare coming up on the 6 pin. Here comes Chris Curley with a single pin spare, and he just misses it by a plank or 2 off to the left. It's a 9 fill on the strike, so that's 19 in the 4th. And it will be a 10 box though. So it's 41 through 4 and 51 through 5. That is the story. 5 boxes through for Chris Curley. Bowlers will switch every 5 boxes. So our away bowler is bowling his first 5 boxes of the first string. He's gone 4 for 5 in the headman with 1 split. He has a 51.5. That is confirmed for Chris Curley. What a nice opening statement. Coming up next will be our home bowler, Chase Abarmczyk, here on the ACST on lane 24. Here comes Chase Abarmczyk today. First ball on the 3 and the 6. And those were the only 2 pins that went down. So 2 go down, 8 stand up for Chase. Next ball for the spare. On the head pin loosely and indirectly through a piece of wood, and he leaves the 2 and the 7. Chase on the 2 and the 7 for a 10 box, and he'll make it a 9. It's 9-1 for Chase Abarmczyk and 7-1 for Chris Curley. This is the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour, an 18-round regular season league. Matches by appointment, separated into classes and divisions. And there's playoffs. You're playing each match for points to place you in playoff contention, competing against folks in your division, competing against folks in your class. If you're a division leader, you're in the dance, if you can maintain that position. And a good or if your record is not quite division leader status, you'll be playing for a wild card spot to still squeak into the playoffs. If you're familiar with the NFL playoffs or general structure of the NFL League, National Football League, ATM machine, you'll understand the general premise of the ACST. This is Class E. There's classes A all the way to E. And we are kind of later in the season at this point. Approaching the end for several bowlers. Several bowlers are done their matches, and other bowlers are just barely getting things finished up. For Chase Abarmczyk, this is his 14th match of the season. He's bowled 13 matches before this. He has a record of 79 and 103. Chase drops one in the 7-pin, and on the second ball, he punches through the center, and he leaves the 2-3-4-6-10. He's got 17-2. Chase Abarmczyk enjoys a record of 37 and 47 at home and 42 and 56 when he's away. 5 blocks for Chase in the third. That's 22-3. Chase Abarmczyk, our home bowler you're watching bowl right now, his season average is 94.7. Away average 94.5. Home average 95. Chase has thrown a 130 for his high single this season with a 550 high series of 5 games. Grand total pinfall, Chase Abarmczyk drops 9. The kingpin is his target for the spare. Abarmczyk on the single, and he'll take the single. He's got it. Target acquired. That puts Chase at 32-4. Chase started around the 6 plank, crossed over to the center plank to take the kingpin. Drifted about 2 invisible arrows. Chase Abarmczyk, he'll throw the same leave again. He drops 9, fills 9. Kingpin again. So you remember our talk just a couple of seconds ago. He threw from about the 6 plank and crossed over to the middle. Can he do the same thing twice? He started in the same spot, and he finished in the same spot. Deja vu for Chase Abarmczyk. 2 spares in a row with the same leave. 2 single pin spare drops for Chase Abarmczyk, and he took care of those no problem. He's at 51 and a bonus after 5 with 2 for 5 on the head pin. So Chris Curley is 51 with no fill after 5. So Chris Curley is coming back to us on lane 23 for the first time today to bowl his next 5 boxes and to finish off the first game. That's Chris Curley with a 4-drop, 6-pack right side. That's the 6-pack brought to you by the bar at Boutwell's Bowling Center, as well as Sabrin Pizza right next door in the same parking lot as Boutwell's Bowling Center. Great food, great drink from both places. You can order from Sabrin Pizza at the front desk of Boutwell's Bowling Center, and needless to say, you can get popcorn and drinks in the Boutwell's Bar, located here in Boutwell's Bowling Center. Curley misses the spare, but he pins it out for a 10. Nicely done. That's 61-6 for Chris Curley. Chris Curley has a season record of 134 and 62 with 14 matches played this season. Away, he's 44 and 40. Home, he's 90 and 22. Chris Curley bowls out of Riverwalk Lanes in Amesbury, Massachusetts, and is from Class E North Division III this year. There's Chris Curley, and he'll put down 9. Everything but the 6-pin. And he's got wood along the 6. I would say prepare for spare. And yep, it was a good idea because Chris Curley just got himself a spare. 4 perfect boxes in a row for Chris Curley. That puts him at 71 and a bonus. Through 7. Here's Chris Curley with the 6-pin. And he took care of it no problem. Look at that. And here we go. He's already following up, and he's going to, chop the 189 on the head pin. That's an ugly 3-fill, and it's barely his fault. Don't you love that shot? Welcome to Candlepin Bowling. This is a shot I don't think you can ever acquire in 10-pin. no way, no how that I could at least think of. Do let me know in the comments if you've ever seen a 189 leave in 10-pin off of one ball. Chris Curley leaves the 2, 4, 5, 7, 10 on the second ball. For the third ball, he'll take a 7. 81 through 8 for Chris Curley here. Chris Curley has a season average of 96.2. Away, he's 95.7 on average. Home, he averages 96.6. He has a high single of 127 for the series and a high series of 509. Here's Chris Curley. He'll take 3 out. 6-pack right plus the 7-pin. Chris Curley is a division leader in Class E North Division 3. He's the third seed in overall Class E North. So Division Rank 1, Class Seed 3. Class E, Class Seed. Say that 5 times fast. And Chris Curley will leave the 1 and the 7 for an 8 and the 9th for 89. Closing in on the first game, Chris Curley is at 89. Averages 95.7 on the road and 96.2 overall. Seems to be largely on track for an average or above average game. Let's see what Chris Curley has in store. 1, 3, 10 leave. One, 3, 10 for Chris. Fires into the hole where the 6-pin was. And it'll be Chris Curley for a retry. He'll take 1 pin. He'll take 2 pins. He'll leave the head pin, which was the object pin. That's a 9 box for Chris Curley, and that will be a 98 first game over his average for the season with 2 marks. A 60% head pin quarterback rating, 6 for 10, 1 split, 6.2 first ball average. Bowled a 47 on lane 23 and a 51 on lane 24. Chase Abarmczyk comes back to us with a 51 half plus gravy because he's on a mark. He threw a double mark, 2 kingpin spares on singles for Chase Abarmczyk. If you can keep that ball down by the 6 plank, he drifts into the center very easily. There he goes. That crossed over just a little bit too much. Starting point was good, just put a little bit too much zhuzh on the ball after that. That's a 4 drop, a 4 fill, 55 through 5, and a 6-pack on the right side for Chase Abarmczyk. He'll fire again, and he'll just drift a little bit. Chase is going to finish this off with a 7-box. 62 through 6 for Chase Abarmczyk, and it's 61 through 6 for Chris Curley to give you a frame of reference. So far, we've got ourselves a match. The first game is always interesting. You're kind of shaking off the cobwebs. You're getting loose. You're getting ready to take 2 points at the beginning. The match may change in how you throw the ball as you get loose or get more acquainted with the lane, of course. Let's see what Chase Abarmczyk does on this 2-drop, and he's on the pocket, and he'll spare that up. Awesome job by Chase Abarmczyk. That's his 3rd mark of the game. That's 72 and a bonus through 7. And watch this. He threw a strike-worthy ball. That's what I like to call a ball that would have been a strike otherwise because it's right on the pocket. Look at that. Right in the 1-2 pocket, he takes them all down, and he's going to follow up on that spare fill with a mix of 4. But he's still adding extra bonus pins as he makes his way to the end of the first game. He's at 76 through 4. That's an advantage of 2 over Chris Curley's 74 through 7. And Chase will spare that up. So these low fills are getting compensated by the notion that Chase Abarmczyk is just getting mark after mark after mark. Center diamond, 6-10. As Chase runs those down right in the pocket, in the 1-3 pocket this time. He's got 4 marks in this game, 86 through 8. And he's on the pocket here. Oh, everything but the kingpin. Chase Abarmczyk's favorite shot this game, a big 9 fill and a big 19 in the 8th. 95 through 8. Now this piece of wood's going to be tricky. He could throw the same kind of ball, 6-pin plank to center, or play that wood. That ball went a little bit off target because it bounced off the foul line and deflected the wood. I thought it still had a chance in a way. Didn't quite take the kingpin, though. Just a little off. Chase will just barely miss the kingpin for a 9 in the 9th for 104. Chase will take the first game. He's got 2 points secured. Chase Abramczyk, he has 22 strikes, 86 spares, and 113 tens with a 30% perfect box percentage, 61.58 seasonal pinfall this season so far. He's in Class E North Division 2 bowls here at Boutwell's Bowling Center as the home bowler. 2nd place in his division, 6th place in the wild card seed. So Chase is really close to the playoffs overall. He just has to work for it here to get there as the season approaches its conclusion. That's a 6 drop for Chase. 1, 2, 4, 7 left side, 4 horsemen. Chase Abarmczyk dropped the ball, bounced it. It started a little bit too far to the left before to his liking. Don't think that was planned. Chase will make that an 8. Hey, that's a good opening game. How about a 112 for Chase Abarmczyk? Chris Curley threw a 98. Chase Abarmczyk, the home bowler, checks in 2 points to his record so far through game 1. So game 1 is game done. Let's go on to game 2 in just a moment here on the ACST. I'm Steve Kelly on the call. It's great to have you along with us here at Boutwell's Bowling Center on Orthodox Easter in Concord, New Hampshire, the house of the Dellases. Chris Curley, lane 24. And here he goes. 1-3 pocket. Nice bid for a strike. He's got the 4-8. And an even better bid for a spare. For the spare, Chris Curley. Oh, he'll take 1. Gets robbed by the wood. Had to do with the angle. Deflected a little bit. I like to call that the bit of a Lakeside Lanes house shot that comes to Boutwell's. That's Chris Curley with a 9 box in the first. Chris Curley, 12 strikes, 110 spares, 109 tens, 30% perfect box percentage for the season, 6,734 seasonal pinfall thus far. In his past 5 matches, Chris Curley has taken 60 points, and he's been averaging 12 points per match, so he's been doing a lot of winning as of lately. 1 drop on the 10 pin for Chris Curley. Next ball, pocket, everything but the 7. A nice bid, a nice try. And Curley will make that a 9 box in the second. His second 9 box in a row. That's 18 through 2 for Chris, who in his past 5 matches, he's taken 2450 pins. 3 matches more than equal to 500 in grand total pinfall this season. 3 in a row, longest streak of strings more than 100. Here's Chris to the right of the head pin on the 3-9. Chops out 2 for a half Worcester right side. Curley, half Worcester, the half Worcester hole, vacuums up the ball. The holy half Worcester. Curley chops through the center. He's got a 5 box in the third for 23. In case you missed it, Chris Curley threw a 98 in the first. He had 2 marks. He had 4 perfect boxes in that first game, a strike with a 9 fill and a spare with a 3 fill in the first game, but threw a 98. Curley. 1-2 pocket kind of full, drops 7, 3, 6, 10. And he's looking to spare up this 3, 6, 10 leave. And, oh, all 3 get touched. I saw that 10-pin wiggle a bit, but the piece of wood kind of flew around it. Looks like we're going to have a piece of wood settle. Maybe in bounds, maybe out of bounds. I am not quite sure where it's going to end up being, but we'll find out as Chase Abarmczyk will go down to check it out. Just adjusting my mic a little bit. I don't think it's picking up too much, but we do have some music playing in the background. I just want to make sure my mixer can kind of send it as far back into the background as possible so it doesn't get picked up by any pesky music detection thingies. That's 32 through 4 for Chris Curley. So if I just got a little quieter for you, my apologies. Just adjusting some knobs a bit. Chris Curley will drop 4, and he's got a spread eagle. The spread eagle, the shot everyone hates. Curley on the eagle, he takes the 10 and only the 10. So at this point, you just want to get out of this box with some dignity, get something higher than a 5, maybe take the 3 on the left. Chris Curley will take 2 on the right instead. He'll take a 7 box. That's 39 through 5 for Chris Curley. No marks this half for Chris, 9.95, 9.7. That puts him at 39 through 5. He's averaging 5.3 on the first ball so far. He has 2 splits. 1 strike, 1 spare, 2 10s for Chris Curley. Back to Chase Abarmczyk here on the ACST, coming right up. Here is Chase Abarmczyk now. And he's off to the right of the head pin, starting off his second game journey with a 6 drop with 4 pins standing. 1, 2, 4, 7, with no wood to help him on lane 24 in Concord, New Hampshire, as Chase Abarmczyk fires upon the 4 horsemen, takes the 1, takes the 2, and eventually the 4, but not the 7. Had to do with the angle on that shot. Chase Abarmczyk's waiting on a piece of wood that's going to settle past the center, actually rolling towards the 7. It's probably, it might rest at the 7, might roll a little bit forward. Still waiting for it to make its final parking spot. Just to the right of the 7. And that's where it will stay. This is for a 10 box for Chase in the first. And he'll take that for the 10. That's 10 through 1 for Chase. And then 9 through 1 for Chris Curley. We're at Boutwell's Bowling Center in Concord, New Hampshire, known as Boutwell's Bowlamore from the old days. And, you know, I'm learning something different and new about Boutwell's Bowling Center all the time. It's interesting trying to chase down the history of this house. Every time I think I know the story, I hear a new piece of it. So I originally, in past broadcasts, might have been mentioning that Boutwell's had opened September 18th, 1976, according to a little card we found, or that Alex Dellis found specifically. But apparently the story goes far beyond that. Apparently Boutwell's has been open since technically the 1930s. And yeah, so I don't have the full details on that, but I was talking to a gentleman at Lakeside Lanes the other day about that, who is actually going to be working on a video production that hopefully can shed some more light on the history of Boutwell. So hopefully we'll have more information on that as he completes his project on that. I know he was talking about doing research and kind of going to libraries and scanning old film and that kind of stuff. So yeah, so the history of Boutwell's is slowly being rediscovered through time. 2 drop for Chase Abarmczyk here. He threw 2 10s. He's 20 through 2. Chase Abarmczyk will take a few more out. He's got 5 on the plate. Chase with 5 up, 5 down, and he'll make it a 9 box. 10, 10, 9, 29 through 3 for Chase Abarmczyk. You are watching 3-Ball Spare and the Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. Content on 3-Ball Spare is proudly made and produced without any use of generative AI. Here's Chase Abarmczyk bowling down there. Chase goes off to the left of the head pin, takes 4 down. He's got a 6-pack right side. Chase Abarmczyk takes 10 out. And by 10, I mean the 10. It would be impressive if he somehow took 10 pins out on a 6-pack leave. And then Chase will turn it into a 7 box for 36 through 4. Chase Abarmczyk in his past 5 matches, he's taken 36 total points, averaging 7.2 points in those past 5 matches. So he's got a relatively good winning record as well in recent times. as Chase takes down 5. 4 horsemen right side and the 7. 1, 7, 10, 3, 6. It's like the high-low jack plus the 3, 6 with a piece of wood perpendicular to the 7. As Chase Abarmczyk on lean 24 fires for the spare. Wanted to go for the outside of the head pin, overshot it a little bit. In Chase Abarmczyk's past 5 matches, he's taken 25, 61 total pins. Here's Chase for the out and the half with an 8 box. That's 44 through 5 for Chase Abarmczyk. 10, 10, 9, 7, 8 for Chase Abarmczyk. That's 44 through 5. He's averaging 5.15 on the first ball, 20% on the head pin. No strikes, 4 spares, 2 10s, 26 bonus pins off of fills, averaging 6.5 per fill for Chase Abarmczyk. Back over to Chris Curley on lane 23. Here at Boutwell's Bollamore in Concord, New Hampshire on North State Street. Here's Chris Curley. Holds up 2 fingers, gets a couple extra. He takes out 4. Gets twice as much as he was predicting. Center diamond, 4 and 7. Curley takes 2, leaves the center diamond now. Connected with the 4 and the 7 on the second ball. First ball went to the right corner. Second ball went to the left corner. Can he take the middle for an out of 10? Let's find out. Everything but the head pin it ends up being for Chris Curley. That's 48 through 6. Chris Curley, his longest winning streak is currently 3 in a row when it comes to matches over 500 in grand total pinfall or higher. His longest winning streak of matches with more than 7 points per match, 7 in a row. 4 drop for Chris Curley again, his third 4 drop in a row. It's a 6-pack right side this time. Chris Curley's first ball average is 5.24. Chris Curley versus the 6-pack, he goes into the channel. Looking at a 4-box or greater to get out of the 7th frame. For Curley on the head pin, a little full, takes a 7-box. That's 55 through 7. Chase Abarmczyk took the first game with a 112. Chris Curley took a 98 in the first game. So it's 2 points so far for Chase Abarmczyk. Chris Curley on lane 23. On the pocket, he takes all but the 7 out. Everything but the 7 pin for Chris Curley. And there's a piece of wood in front of it, but I'm a little worried about the distance of that wood. And he'll nudge the wood on the cap. Slides to the right. It'll be a clean shot on the 7 pin for a 10 box. It'll be a 9 for Chris Curley. 64 through 8. That's Curley with a half Worcester shot on the 3 and the 9. 2 drop. And there is a couple more chopped out for Mr. Curley. And there's Chris Curley with an 8 in the 9th. Struggling this game a bit. That puts him at 72 through 9. We are at Boutwell's Bowling Center in Concord, New Hampshire on North State Street in Concord. Needless to say, they hosted the Mixed Worlds 2025 tournament last year. Home of multiple ACST champions from last season, Dimitri Delis and Matt Powers. At the time, they were in Class C and E, respectively. Here's Chris Curley taking a few more out. 1, 2, 4, and 8. And Curley takes 2, leaves 2 for an 8 box for 80. in his second game. That's a 2-game total of 178 for Chris Curley. He's got a 50% head pin completion percentage with 2 splits, 5.2 first ball average. He's thrown an 88 on lane 23 and 90 on lane 24. And now Chase Abarmczyk is ready to bowl. Here he is. Chase will begin with a 4-drop. Center diamond and some sleepers. Chase on the follow-up. He'll be on the head pin full, and he'll take 5 of 6 pins. He leaves the 2 pin. Lane 23 for Chase for the 10 box. He's got it. 54 through 6 for Chase so far. Chase Abarmczyk in his past 5 matches, 16 strikes, 53 spares, 57 10 boxes. He averages 15.6 for 50 on the head pin per match and 7.2 splits per match. And there is nearly a strike for Chase. He'll put down 9, and that's the 8 pin down there. He's got wood, 2 planks overlapping one another. But the one I'm worried about is that one in the back, in between the front plank and the 9. But it doesn't matter, Chase takes it. Excuse me, the 8 pin, to correct that thought. That's 64 and a bonus for Chase on the single. Yeah, let's watch how he throws this, because I was a bit worried about that situation. How did he hit it? He hit it high. Yes, that's the right way to go for that. That was kind of where I was. If I had some extra time, I would have suggested that. Yeah, because the way that wood was angled, any other way it could have gone other places. Chase will be filling that spare with a 8 box. I mean, 8 fill. Excuse me. That's a split. That's the 2 and the 10. They're just correcting that down there. Chase indicates to Chris that it's an 8 fill. Late falling sleeper pin. They can be tough to see at Lakeside. And on the 2, Chase will take only the 2 and leave the 10. It won't be another mark. There we go. Score corrections in down there. Chris Curley, Chase Abarmczyk 9 or 10 is going to be a 9. That's 81 through 8. Chase Abarmczyk comfortably in the lead in the second game through the 8th. In the total and the game. 2 boxes to go before we complete this game and assess the totals through 2. Chase Abarmczyk takes a few out, 6 out to be exact, 1, 7, 10, 9. Piece of wood to the left of the 1. Chase motions to take them all, and he does. Motion accepted. Motion granted for Chase. That spare, that 91 through 9. Watch this. Great shot. Wow, yeah, that would. Wheels on the 10. Go round and round. 91 through 9 in a bonus. Chase is working on a spare fill, and yikes, he's on the 4 for a 1 fill. 92 through 9. And Chase looks to spare this up, but he won't take them all out. He leaves the 3 diamond. And a nice out of 9 for Chase. That's 101 in the second game. It's still enough to take the second game by far to Chris Curley's 80 in the second. So it's a 2-game total of 213 for Chase Abarmczyk and 178 for Chris Curley. Currently, the home bowler, Chase Abarmczyk, has all the points. He has 4 guaranteed so far. Hello, everybody. We're 2 games down. Currently, Chase Abarmczyk is in the lead with 4 points and leading in the grand total pinfall with 213 to Chris Curley's 178. We're going to be starting game 3 here in just a second or two. Chris Curley is ready to go. Here's Chris Curley with 4 down. Spread eagle. Yes, that be the spread eagle, everyone's favorite shot. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 10 leave. Chris punches the 6 on the spread eagle. Aims for a pocket. Only gets 1. Looks to finish it off. He'll fight for a 6 box. Chris Curley, average points per away match, 7.3. Average points per home match, 11.3. At Riverwalk Lanes in Amesbury, Massachusetts. 9 strikes, 54 spares, and 53 tens in his past 5 matches. Chris Curley's on the pocket, finds it, splits 7. That's the 2-8-10. Curley bids for a spare. On the 2 on the wood. 8 and 10 don't feel bothered to go. Curley. He looks to get a 9 box, and he does. That's 15 through 2 for Chris Curley, who's had a pretty good head pin completion percentage. You know, you want to talk about stats where one bowler who's not necessarily winning is performing well in the stats. Chris Curley has a 55% completion percentage on the head pin compared to Chase Abarmczyk's 25%. That's a 3 drop for Chris so far. 6 back right in the 7. 1-3 pocket for Chris. He leaves all but the kingpin. That was a good bid. Crossed from the corner to the center into the pocket. It's just a 5-pin kingpin. And that's Chris Curley with a 9 for 24 through 3. Chris Curley has bowled 14 matches. This is his 15th match. In the season, he's only bowled 5 matches without 10 points in terms of take-home. And that makes sense considering his record is 134 and 62. Chris Curley will chop 2, 3 in the 9 for a right side half Worcester. Curley bids for a spare. He's on the pocket a little full. 4, 6, 7, 10. Looks to take 2 if he can. He will. That's an 8 box. 32 through 4 for Chris Curley. Here's Chris Curley's stats again. He has the 7th highest Class E average at 96.2. The 9th highest Class E high single at 127. 10th highest Class E total spares at 12. 9th highest Class E high series at 509. 3rd highest Class E total spares at 110. Chris Curley will mix down 7 and split 7. The 5, the 7, and the 8 are what he's looking at here. Curley for the spare on the 5. Wanted to play it to kick it to the left, but missed the target. Curley's attack missed. He's looking to get out of this half. He won't have a mark this half, but he will take an 8 box. 6, 9, 9, 8, 8 for a 40 through 5 for Mr. Curley. 3 for 5 in the head pin this game. All 3 of those head pin shots were splits. He's 13 head pin shots and 5 splits this game, or this match. 1 strike, 1 spare, 2 tens. Chase Abarmczyk coming up next. Here's Chase. 1-3 pocket. He'll take 9 down. Everything but the 4 pin. Single pin spare, slightly off to the left of the king pin this time. It's the 4 pin with a piece of wood resting against it. Chase goes for it. He went too far to the left. Nine or 10. It's going to be 9 for Chase. Had an opportunity there for sure. 9 through 1. Chase Abarmczyk currently with a 43% perfect box percentage on the day. 3 tens. No strikes, 6 spares, 6 headpin shots, 1 split, 35 in bonus pins off of fills, averaging 5.8 per mark fill, and there is a 9.5 drop with the kingpin for Chase Abarmczyk. Now this is going to be a nice leave because he's gotten this multiple times on this same lane. Just has to make sure he gets that ball down on the 6 plank. I see it did. Oh, and he just didn't quite drift. Yeah, no, I know where he's looking, and it looked good when he released it. I think he just didn't push the ball enough to the left to really cross, or just didn't cross enough. I've seen him overcross today. I didn't see him undercross yet. That's a 10 box for Chase Abarmczyk. 19 through 2 compared to Chris Curley's 15 through 2. Chase. 1-3 pocket. Not much to show for it. He's got the 2-4-6. Quite a split to contend with. 2-4 pocket is your target. Go to the left of the 2. You could try to kick the wood on the cap on the right side if you really wanted to get risky, but it would have been a question mark regardless. Chase takes 2 on the left, and he's just going to get out of this box the best he can with a prospective 10 and a 9 guaranteed. At a minimum, he goes for it. He takes a 9. That's 28 through 3. Patriots-Falcons number for Chase Abarmczyk, who's perfect on the head pin this half with 1 split. Here comes Chase. 1-2 pocket. He's been getting really good pocket shots and just some of these leaves. This is not an unmakeable leave, but he's got the 8 and the 9. The advice is to cap the wood. Maybe not at too much of an angle. You still need to send it back. The question mark is deflecting away from the 10, and can you shoot back to get to the 8? And that is how you do it, though. Chase will take a spare. 38 in a bonus through 4. That was precisely the shot I was envisioning Chase would go for, and he got it no problem. Go to the left of that wood. And he did precisely that. Yeah, not necessarily cap it, but hit it, you know, close to the cap. 38 in a bonus through 4 for Chase Abarmczyk on that spare fill, which he's working on now, and it'll take 2. He's got a 12 box in the 4th. That puts him at 40 through 4. Plus 8 to Chris Curley's 32 through 4. Chase. Pocket shot, everything but the kingpin. Another great spare bid. Just denied by 1 pin. $9 or 10. 49 or 50. It's a 10 for 50. All right, so Chase Abarmczyk will sit with a 50 half with 1 mark and 2 10s, 4 for 5 in the head pin with 2 splits. That raises his head pin completion percentage to 36 today. Chris Curley with a 40 half. No points for Chris Curley today so far. Having a bit of a rough start, but he can turn it around. There's still a chance. Here on the ACST, where there's always still a chance. Until there isn't. There's still chances right now. We are officially at halftime. Chris Curley will open up the second half. He takes 3 down. 6, 9, 10. So 218 for Curley and 263 for Chase Abarmczyk are your halftime totals, with Chris Curley fighting for points right now. Chase Abarmczyk currently has 4 points in the bag. Curley, no mark. We'll take a 5 box in the 6th for 45. Chris Curley has the #1 Class E average spare fill at 5.7, the 8th highest Class E perfect box percentage at 30%, and the 10th highest Class E total 10s at 109, the #7 Class E fewest average pins left at 70.1. Chris Curley will take 3 out. He'll take 3 out once again for currently a 4.85 first ball average, 5 splits, 13 head pin shots. Curley on the pocket, almost on the pocket, drifts to the left, leaves the 1-3-7. Recently, Chris Curley faced Chris Salmons in round 10. He had a victorious match there, taking 8 points with a 476 series, throwing an 83, a 100, a 99, a 110, and an 84. No strikes, 7 spares, 6 tens, 23 headpin shots for 50 with 18 splits. There's an 8 box for Chris Curley here. That puts him at 53 through 7. Here's Mr. Curley. Slightly west of the headpin. Takes 5 down. 1, 7, 10, 3, 6. Curley will miss the pocket and miss the target, and the target pin is standing. He'll take everything else out. The 3, 6, 7, 10 were all mixed down. Curley for a 9 or a 10. He's still looking for a mark this game. He'll take a 10 box, though. That's 63 through 8. Curley off to the right. He'll take a 3 down. That's a leave you don't see often, kind of a diagonal chop out. He took the 3, the 5, and the 8 out, left the rest of the plate. Left the rest of the rack, that is. Curley will mix down more. He'll leave the 1 and the 6. Chris Curley threw a 98 in the first game and an 80 in the second game. Looking to finish this box up, he'll take a 9. That's 72 through 9 for Mr. Chris Curley. Chris Curley has 3 shutout victories this season. That is matches with a 14-point take-home. He's got 3 in the bank. Those are big matches. If you can get a nice quantity of those, it really helps you out in terms of the playoff aspirations. Chris Curley on the right of the head pin. He'll take 6 down. 1, 2, 7, 8. So he's at least at 78 right now for the string. For the spare bid, make it even better. Curley's on the pocket, a little full, leaves 1 pin in the back, the 8 pin. So he's going to have an 81 or an 82 this game. Ends up being a 9 box for an 81. That's game 3 for Chris Curley with a 3-game total of 259. He threw a 98, an 80, and this is an 81 third game for Chris. Chase Abarmczyk comes back to us with a 50 half, 2 10s, and a spare with a 2 fill is the scene being set for Chase Abarmczyk. 263 halftime for Chase. Here's Chase Abarmczyk. Drifts to the left of the head pin. He's going to get a continuous mix down of 7 with the head pin eventually going, even though he didn't hit it directly. 3, 6, 10 for Chase Abarmczyk. 3, 6, 10 for a spare. No wood. Just play it clean, and Chase will drift into where the pocket was. Couldn't quite straighten out that ball. 7, 8, 9, or 10 for Chase as he takes the 10 pin, leaves 2 pins on the plate for an 8 box for 58 through 6. Chase Abarmczyk of Class E North Division 2, our home bowler today here at Boutwell's Bowling Center. 79 and 103 for the season. Chase will mix down 3 in the back. 4, 7, 8. Knocked out. And Chase will miss the head pin narrowly. He'll take a couple more out. He leaves the 1, 3, 6, 10. Abarmczyk will make it an 8 box for 66 through 7. Chase Abarmczyk, he has 3 strings in a row, more than 100 in terms of streaks. His longest winning streak of more than 7 points per match has been 2 in a row this season. His average points per away match is 6.0. His average points per home match, 6.2 this season. And he has 1 shutout victory, at least. There's Chase Abarmczyk dropping 9 with the 7 pin down there for a spare bid. Piece of wood in front of the 7. That rolled out of play as I go to look again. Clean shot on the 7 for Chase. And it goes into the channel, but thankfully he doesn't take the 7, so he has another chance at it for a 10 box. Chase for the 10. He's on it that time. If the third ball was the second ball, you know how that is. That's 76 through 8 for Chase. Chase Abarmczyk, he has 2 pinfall wins so far. In his past 5 away matches, he's taken 34 points, averaging 6.8 points per match. In his past 5 home matches, he's taken 29 points, averaging 5.8 points per home match. There's Chase Abarmczyk chopping 2 out on the right side. That's a half Worcester. A poke out of the 3 and the 9. Here comes Chase on the half Worcester. He'll go into the half Worcester hole. The half Worcester rabbit hole on Orthodox Easter. Not so kala. As Chase will take a 7 in the 9th for 83. Chase Abarmczyk has the 8th highest Class E average at 94.7, the 7th highest Class E high single at 130, the 5th highest Class E total strikes at 22, the 4th highest Class E high series at 550, the 8th highest Class E total spares at 86, the 7th highest Class E perfect box percentage at 30, the 5th highest Class E total tens at 113, and the 9th highest Class E fewest average pins left at 71. As he mixes down 8, not on the head pin once again. He's got the 1 and the 9 to shoot at for a spare. He will take the third game. He's at 83. Chris Curley threw an 81. So Chase Abarmczyk at 6 points so far. For the spare, he misses the head pin to the left. Eight, 9, or 10 for Chase Abarmczyk. He'll make it a 9 through 10. He's at 92, and that will be game 3. 3 games done. Chase Abarmczyk, 6 points. 305, 3-game total for Chase Abarmczyk. Chris Curley, 3-game total at 259. 43% head pins for Chris Curley, 33% head pins for Chase Abarmczyk. Curley, the home bowler, is on a tear. Let's see if he can continue into game 4 here on the ACST in Concord, New Hampshire at Boutwell's Bowling Center. Great to have you today. I'm Steve Kelly. Chris Curley is going to be on deck to bowl next. We are 3 games in. Hope you're enjoying this match and hope you're having a great day so far. And we have 2 more games of bowling to get through today. 20 boxes to go for each bowler and 40 boxes total for you. Chris Curley, let's go. 5 pins go down. He's got a Colery on the right side, named after Bob Colery of Lexington, Massachusetts. Search his name on YouTube and you'll understand the rest of the story. Chris Curley takes out all but the head pin on the second ball. He's got all but the head pin to deal with, or that he dealt with. He's dealing with just the head pin. Much easier for a nice one-on-one for a 10 box. To start game 4, just waiting for John Cadero to do some work back there. John Cadero's working the front desk today, along with Andy Dulles. That's a 9 box for Chris Curley, 9 through 1. Curley, first ball, the second frame. 5 go down. 10 pins wiggling, but it won't. 1, 7, 10, 3, 9. Curley chops the 3. It jumps over everything else. Presses the A button over pins 1, 9, and 10. Curley will take a 6 box, missing the target. He's at 15 through 2. Curley. Oh, drifts off to the right. And Curley will take a few more out. He'll take 5 for the road and 5 standing. And he'll leave the head pin for 9. 24 through 3. Chris Curley has 7 pinfall wins this season, averages 29 for 50 on the 19 for 50 on the head pin. And per match he averages 10.2 splits. Curley's on the pocket there, drops 8, 3-7. Clean for Chris Curley. Let's see if he can take him out. Just to the right of the 3, misses the target. Chris will take an 8 in the 4th for 32. Chris Curley in his past 5 away matches, he's taken 32 points, averaging 6.2 points per match. And when he's at home at Riverwalk, he'll take 66 points in his past 5 matches, and he averaged 13.2 points. Wow, that's a pretty good home record for Chris Curley. But he has been more of a challenge on the road today. Takes 6 down, 7-10, 2-5 for Mr. Curley. And oh, he almost played right where I wanted him to play it, to the left of the 2, but just hit the wood. Just missed a little bit. So he's looking to get out of this box. He'll go markless this half. He'll take a 7, leaving the 5, 7, and 10, hitting the 2 pin directly. That's a 39 half for Mr. Chris Curley. 3.5 game total at 298 with that 39 half for Chris. Fighting for points today. Home bowler defending strong. Chase Abarmczyk currently with 6 points. Let's see if he can continue onward as he bowls his first 5 boxes. We enter the second quarter of the 4th game here on the ACST in Concord, New Hampshire at Boutwell's. Chase. Pocket. Oh, yeah. And here is Chase Abarmczyk. What an introduction. Strike in the first. We'll have to come off the bench and just throw a heater like that. Look at this. Beautiful shot on the 1-2. Gone. 10 goes down, 5 goes down. Chase is working on a strike. Under crosses, 1, 2, 4, 5. 6 so far on the strike fill. Chase, right on the pocket. Full enough to take 3 of 4. Good bid, 9 fill. Well done. Just one of those situations where you couldn't really do much else to prevent that last pin from falling, or from not falling. You know what I mean. It's a 10 box in the second, 29 through 2 for Chase Abarmczyk. Loading it up. He's got his first strike today. Both bowlers with 1 strike. But Chase Abarmczyk has 6 more spares than Chris Curley, and that's really making the difference here. He also has 4 more 10s than Chris Curley. And here's Chase Abarmczyk with a split, a 4-10 leave for Chase. 8 drop. Piece of wood perpendicular to the 4. It's going to be a tough shot. Play a cap. So Chase will take the 4. A little direct on the wood. Not a disaster. Just take a 9 or a 10 off of this and move on. Chase will take a 10, maxing it out. Still perfect this game so far. Strike 9, fill 10-10 for 39 through 3. Chase Abarmczyk with a perfect game so far. In 10 pin, it's kind of more known as a clean game. There's no 10 boxes in 10 pin, but still the same kind of sentiment. We consider it a perfect half if you can stay 10 or higher. Chase is into the channel there. Bit of a misfire. This is ball 2. Here's Chase on the retry on the pocket, and wow, that's nice. That's a nice retry. It's Too bad it couldn't be the first ball. He's left with the kingpin with a piece of wood resting against it for a 10 box. Can he pin it out? Yes, he can. Hey, that's a way to get out of a first ball gutter ball. That's 49 through 4 for Chase Abarmczyk. Could have been a single pin. Could have been a single pin spare had we just forgotten ball one gone into the right abyss. But hey, is what it is. 49 through 4. Abarmczyk, he fires, and he'll take 6 down. 2, 4, 5, 9. A check mark kind of in the center. And Chase will take all but 1 pin. Just 1 to go. Let's see if Chase Abarmczyk can keep it perfect. He won't quite pin it out. He'll take a 9 box instead. Still not bad. How about a 58.5 for Chase Abarmczyk? Every other box was a head pin. Every other opening ball of the boxes in these past 5 were head pin shots. 1 split in the middle on the third ball. Third box, that is. Chase Abarmczyk 58.5. Chris Curley 39.5. Chris Curley will come back to bowl his next 5 boxes and complete Game 4. Curley's on the pocket. Drops 5. 3, 5, 6, 9, 10. Ooh, just rides that rail. Stays on, though. Takes the 10 pin. 4 pins to go for a 10 box. Chris will blow that diamond up for a 10. Nice pinning. 49 through 6. Curley's to the left of the head pin. He'll take 3 down. 6-pack right side in the 7. It's a 3 drop nobody likes. Curley under crosses, goes to the 6 pin. He's got 4 down and 6 standing. 1, 3, 5, 7, 10, and the 9. And that's going to be an unfortunate 4 box there for Chris. That's 53 through 7. Chris Curley bowled out of Class D North Division II in the 2023-2024 season. His home house was Boutwell's back then. Took a season off, came back under Riverwalk lanes in Class E North Division III for this season. He'll take 7 down. That's the 2, 4, 5. He'll miss the target and leave the target. Just the 2 pin for Chris Curley. Chris will take a 9 for 62 through 8. Chris Curley on the road is 44 and 40. At home, he's 90 and 22. He's a division leader in Class E North Division III. And he's the 3rd seed overall in the classes among the division leaders. And there's Chris Curley with a 9 drop. Everything but the 7 pin. Curley on the 7 pin for the spare. Yeah, he's got the single pin. 72 and a bonus through 9 for Chris Curley. A nice shot down the 6 pin vicinity. Crossed over quite a bit, but went to the 7 pin, no problem. Curley, pocket 2 full. It's a 3 fill. Yeah, it's never fun when you get those. 75 through 9 with that 3 fill. The follow-up. Place the 4 on the right side, and oh, and he'll take all but the 2. What a great spare bid. It was a nice try. Not for lack of trying. A talent spread eagle for a spare is a nice thing to see. Chris Curley almost does it, but he'll clean up for a 10 box, making up quite a bit of lost ground in the last 2 boxes or so. He throws an 85 in the 4th game. That's a 3-game total of 344 for Chris Curley. 48% on the head pin today, 8 splits, 4.98 first ball average. 15 bonus pins off of fills, averaging 5 per each mark. Here's Chase. Ooh, almost another strike coming out of the gate, coming off the bench. He drops 9. 4-pin, single pin. Chase is just a little bit off to the left. Chase makes it a 9 box in the 6th for 67 through 6. Compare that to 49 through 6 for Chris Curley. Chase is on the pocket somewhere to the right of the head pin. 3-6 pocket, takes 6 down. 1, 2, 4, 8 are the bid. Is the bid for the spare. Chase on the head pin a little full, leaves the 4 and the 8. And Chase will pin it out for a 10, his 4th 10 box of this game. He's got a really good game going here in terms of just the box values. His worst box has been a 9, just 2 of them. 4 10 boxes and a strike, 77 through 7. Chase Abarmczyk to the left of the head pin. Ooh, he'll get some backdoor action. He'll leave the 1 and the 5. Now this is a shot. It's difficult to hit it full. Wood can help you splash left or right to take that sleeper. Head pin and the king. Starts with hitting it though. Chase misses it. 8, 9, or 10 box here. Fires. Takes the king pin through a piece of wood. It'll be a 9 box though. Still 86 in the 8th. More than 20 as an advantage in the 8th against Chris Curley, who had a 62 through 8. And here's Chase. A little full in the head pin. He takes 6 down. And he's got a split. 3 on the right, 1 on the left. 3, 6, 10, 4. Chase takes 3 on the right. And a piece of wood is going to just nudge the 4 just ever so slightly. So he's still benchmarking a minimum of 9 for each box this game at the very least. But how about a 10 for 96 through 9? Chase Abarmczyk crosses the 400 threshold, 3.9 games in. So he's averaging effectively 100 as of right now. Chase will take 3 out on the 6, 9, 10. 4 in the middle, 3 in the back left. Center diamond and 4 triangle. Chase bids for a spare. 1, 3 pocket. He'll mix all down but the 5. This will be for 9 or 10 once again. Chase Abarmczyk keeping it 9 or higher this game. Over 100 guaranteed. He'll take a 10 box. How about a 106 game 4 for Chase Abarmczyk? And really good in terms of the box values. Just 9s and 10s all the whole way down for a 106 for 411. 4 games in for Chase Abarmczyk, who takes another 2 points. He's got 8 so far. Chris Curley with a 344 on the total. As we head to game 5. 6 additional points are up for grabs in the 5th game. Chase Abarmczyk does have a guaranteed 8. See if he can get any more or if Chris Curley can figure it out. Chris Curley will continue. And he'll get the pocket. 2 on the left, 1 on the right, 4-6-2. Curley bids for a spare. Takes the 6. And only the 6. 8, 9, or 10 for Chris. It's going to be an 8 in the first. And that is that. So Chase Abarmczyk really piling up the 10 boxes in particular. He has 12 10 boxes to Chris Curley's 5, and a lot of those came from the previous game. There's Chris Curley in the pocket, and he'll take them all out for a strike. Chris Curley getting things started here with yet another strike. He's leading in the strikes. That's his 2nd strike in the match. Chase Abarmczyk only has 1. And look at that hammer. Beautiful. Here's Chris Curley on the follow-up to that strike. He'll take 5 down. 5 so far on the strike bid. Next ball completes a strike fill. And he'll leave the 1 and the 9. That's an 8 fill on the strike. Chris Curley will take a 9 for 35 through 3. Chris Curley to the left of the head pin takes out the 4 and the 8 for a 2-drop. Curley looking to spare this up. He misses the pocket to the right. He's got the 1, 2, 7, 10 to contend with. Chris Curley with 134 wins, 62 losses, 14 matches played. This is match 15 for him. He'll take a 6 box in the 4th for 41. Chris Curley on lane 24 at Boutwell's Bowling Center. He fires 1-3 pocket. He mixes down more than 5, maybe a strike off of it. Everything with 4 goes. I thought it was going to be a 5-drop. On the 4 pin for Chris Curley. For the spare. Yes, he's got it. Spare secured. And a nice one to sit on. 51 through 5 for Chris Curley is the half. Halfway through the 5th and final game, Chris Curley at 395 and counting. 98, 80, 81, and 85, and an in-progress 51 plus a fill is the story for Chris Curley so far. As Chase Abarmczyk comes back with full, all the points as of right now, 8 points. Won every game up to this point. We'll see what Chase Abarmczyk can do from here. Chase will start out on lane 24 for this game. To the right of the head pin, he takes down 6. 1, 2, 7, 8. Chase looks to take the 1, 2, 7, 8, misses off to the right. Chase nudges the head pin. He leaves 3 on the plate for 7 through 1. So Chase Abarmczyk, 4 boxes to catch up to Chris Curley's 51.5. And Chase will take 2 out on the first ball of the 2nd frame. And Chase will nudge down all but the 1, the 2, and the 8 on the 2nd ball. He's looking to take a 7, 8, 9, or 10 box, and it will be a 9 for Chase for 16 through 2. Chase Abarmczyk the number 8th highest Class C average at 94.7. He recently faced Brian Hebert in round 12. He took 12 points with a 550 series with a 107, a 116, a 94, a 112, and a 121 with 2 strikes, 11 spares, 15 tens. It was a great match. And I believe I covered that match, if I'm not mistaken. So go look it up. 6 drop for Chase here, 1-2-7-9. And Chase is on the head pin lightly. Not quite at the right angle, though. Leaves the 2 and the 7. Eight, 9, or 10 for Chase, and he'll make it a 9. At 25 through 3, down by 10 to Chris Curley's 35 through 3. That's striking the 8 fill, propelling Chris Curley forward in this game. Chase Abarmczyk to the right of the head pin. Takes 4 down, 6 standing. A washout of 4 on the left and 2 on the right. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 for Chase. Miss the head pin. Off to the left, leave the 1 and the 8. It'll be an 8, 9, or 10 here. Ends up being an 8. 33 through 4 for Chase Abarmczyk. We're here at Boutwell's Bowling Center in Concord, New Hampshire. On 152 North State Street. 24 lanes, 12 on each side. We are on the side with lanes 13 through 24 today. A lot of people here at Boutwell's too. I know you can't really see it, but it's a busy place today. Chase Abarmczyk almost takes a strike. Drops 9, leaves the 6. Single pin spare with the 6 with wood perpendicular behind it. This will be a good spare bid if he can get it. And it'd be a good one to sit on, and he'll just miss off to the left. Just barely. So Chase will go markless this half in the 5th and final game. Chris Curley has 2 marks this half. That'll be a 9 box for Chase. That's 42 through 5 for Chase Abarmczyk. 4.5 games in. He's at 453. Chris Curley at 395. Chris Curley fighting for 2 points in the 5th game. And he's really going to have to battle to reclaim the total for 4 points. On top of the 2 if he can figure it out. But he's going to have to basically go lights out, complete perfect from here on out. He's already on a mark fill. Let's find out. Chris Curley working on a mark fill. 7 go down. 1, 2, 10. That's a 58 through 5. Curley needs this mark. He'll chop the 2 out. And for the out, he'll take 1. And it will be a 9 box in the 6th. 67 through 6 for Chris Curley. Here's Chris. 1-2 pocket, 9 drop, 6 pin, standing. That's the play for the single pin spare. Piece of wood appears to be rolling out of play. And it is out of play. Chris Curley will miss it. That piece of wood is very out of play. He'll take the 6 pin though on the 3rd ball. 77 through 7 for Chris Curley. Chase Abarmczyk going down just to remove the debris. So Chris Curley with 2 marks this game, 3 perfect boxes for 7. 4 for 7 on the head pin with 1 split this game. He's overall 49% on the head pin for the day, 9 splits for the day, 5.38 first ball average for the day. Chris Curley on the 1-3 pocket, lightly at an angle. 7, 9, 10 is the bid with wood everywhere. Or 7, 8, 10, excuse me. And yeah, that's going to be an interesting play. The challenge will be, how do you get to the 10 from the 7 and the 8? Frontmost wood, probably on a cap. Maybe you could try it like that, but it was going to shoot backwards as it did. 10 pin stands tall for Chris Curley, bidding for a 10 box. And it is a 10 for Chris Curley. That's 87 through 8. 2 10 boxes in a row. He's on track to throw his best game today. He threw a 98, an 80, an 81, and an 85 in the first 4 games. Currently at 87, with 2 boxes to go. Just trying to clear out a piece of wood and avoid having to reset, but I have a feeling we will be resetting. That's going to boink something, I think. Or maybe not. Oh. Nice headpin shot, bud. Just throw him like that. None of this counts. This is just literally just to clear the lane out. It's funny, though, when you miss the gutter. Because missing the gutter is like, you know, you think that would never happen, but you'd be surprised in leagues or whatever when you're just... It's happened. And it's always funny when it happens. Chris Curley will chop out the 10. It's like on The Price is Right when they spin the big wheel and they don't make one complete revolution. The crowd has to boo them. Kind of like that. Chris Curley on a 1-drop, followed by a leave of the 7 and a leave of the 8 and the 9. He'll take an out of 10. A nice way to go out. 3 10s in a row. That's 97 through 9 for Chris Curley. So Chris Curley, even though he's 4 boxes ahead of Chase Abarmczyk, he is far behind in the total. So that I am willing to state that Chase Abarmczyk reasonably and very safely has the total today. Just by numbers and math. 5-8 leave for Chris Curley for a spare. His final spare bid today. The 5 pin, does not respond to the flying wood. For a 10 box, Chris Curley will at least go 4 10 boxes in a row. And that will be his best game today with a 107. And Chris Curley is done for the day. That's 5 games done with a 5-game total of 451 today. And 5 boxes ahead, he's still down from Chase Abarmczyk's 453. Excuse me, 451 to Chase Abarmczyk's 453. So Chase Abarmczyk does have 4 for the total already. And he's just looking for 2 additional points for the game. And if he does that, he'll have all 14 points today. Chase Abarmczyk with a very, very winningest game today. Winningly as he drops 9, the 4 pin stands. Chase bidding for a spare on a single. He's got it. Another single pin spare production by Chase Abarmczyk, 52 and a bonus through 6. Have a look at this one. Right on it. Broke it in half. 52 through 6 plus a fill. Oops. Looks like Chris Curley mistakenly just entered it twice down there, so we're just he's working on fixing it. He knows. Chase will put a 1 on that fill. So that's one thing I know John Cadero's been talking with Chase Abarmczyk. It's on the fills in particular, and I know this feeling. I remember this from years ago. You have to really kind of be able to get over the thrill of the fill, if that makes any sense, so you don't have, you know, mishaps like that. It's tough to get over. You just have to kind of mentally get yourself out of the pitfall of making that mistake. Chase Abarmczyk will take an out of 9. for 62 through 7. Chris Curley is at 77 through 7 at the same point in the game. Chase is just playing for 2 points. Otherwise, he has a guaranteed 12. Chase on lane 23. He'll mix down a few. 3 to be specific. 4 in the middle, 3 on the left. Chase on the pocket. He takes all but the 7. And Chase will make that a 9 in the 8th for 71. So he's going to need to find quite a few pins, and he's going to at least need one more mark and a good fill to get to 107 or higher for the 2 points for the shutout victory. So we'll see how Chase Abarmczyk can figure this out here in the last 2 boxes towards the end of this match. I want to thank you for watching today from Boutwell's Bowling Center in Concord, New Hampshire. Thank our ACST League committee members, including our commissioner, Danny Finn, Class C treasurer is Maurice Perry. Thank our statistician, Micah Imperato, the staff at Boutwell's Bowling Center as always. 8 drop for Chase here. 2-4 for a spare. I would like to thank you for watching. If you want to consider subscribing to the Atlantic Candlepin Single Store page on Facebook for more great matches such as these and a whole lot more. I also do some other content on a little page called 3 Ball Spare. It's on Facebook and YouTube as well. So do feel free to check out those pages if that is your desire. That's a 3rd 9 box in a row for Chase Abarmczyk for 80 through 9. He needs a triple strike to take this game. So Curley he could take 2. Chase with a guaranteed 12. Here's the deciding ball. And it will be 2 for Chris Curley and 12 for Chase Abarmczyk today. It's a 4 drop for Chase Abarmczyk. 4 on the left, 2 on the right. Bids for the spare, misses the object. He's got the 1-4, 6-10. It'll be an 86 through 90 game for Chase Abarmczyk. And it's gonna be a 9 box for an 89. And that's the end of the game. That's the end of the match. 89 in the 5th game for Chase Abarmczyk with an even 500 series, 112, 101, 92, 106, and 89 for Chase Abarmczyk. Chris Curley with a 451 series for the day, 98, 80, 81, 85, and 107. 451. So Chase Abarmczyk having quite a day today. That will help him out in the playoff positionings for sure. A nice 12-pointer is always something nice to look at. So Chase Abarmczyk with 1 strike, 8 spares, and 12 tens, 42% perfect box percentage. Chris Curley 2 strikes, 3 spares, and 9 tens today for a 28% perfect box percentage. On lane 23, Chris Curley threw a 224 versus Chase Abarmczyk's 251. And on lane 24, Chris Curley threw a 227, Chase Abarmczyk threw a 249. Chris Curley threw mostly even across the 2 lanes. Chase Abarmczyk also even, just plus or minus just a few small pins across lanes 23 and 24. So both lanes were really generous and pretty even for both bowlers. If this were head-to-head, Chase Abarmczyk would have won more boxes, 27 to Chris Curley's 14, with the rest being ties. Chris Curley did have a better head pin quarterback rating, though, at exactly 50% for the day. Chase Abarmczyk, 36% on the head pin. 10 splits for Curley, 5 for Abarmczyk. First ball averages, 5.28 for Curley and 5.66 for Chase Abarmczyk. Chase will take 12 points today, and Chris will take 2. So here's some graphs. If you want to take a look and pause the video to take a look at this in more detail, feel free to. So anyways, I've been Steve Kelly for Chase Abarmczyk and Chris Curley. We'll be signing off on the microphone. Stay tuned for the highlight reel. I'll just put that together in just a minute or 2. Anyways, for everyone here at Boutwell's Bowling Center, I've been Steve Kelly. Thanks a lot. We'll see you at the next Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. Have a great one, everybody. if that is your preference. If you like this content, please consider subscribing to this channel to help us grow. And there's Chris Curley. He'll open things up with the marks department with a strike. Abarmczyk on the single, and he'll take the single. He's got it to the middle. Can he do the same thing twice? He started in the same spot, and he finished in the same spot. And he's got wood along the 6. I would say prepare for spare. And you get loose or get more acquainted with the lane, of course. Let's see what Chase Abarmczyk does on this 2-drop, and he's on the pocket, and he'll spare that up. An advantage of 2 over Chris Curley's 74 through 7. And Chase will spare that up. Overlapping one another. But the one I'm worried about is that one in the back, in between the front plank and the 9. But it doesn't matter. Chase takes it. Piece of wood to the left of the 1. Chase motions to take them all. And he does. Motion accepts. Deflecting away from the 10, and can you shoot back to get to the 8? And that is how you do it, the 4th game here on the ACST in Concord, New Hampshire at Boutwell's. Chase. Pocket. Oh, yeah. And here is Chase. Curley on the 7-pin for the spare. Yeah, he's 10 boxes in particular. He has 12-10 boxes to Chris Curley's 5, and a lot of those came from the previous game. There's Chris Curley in the pocket, and he'll take them all out for a strike. I thought it was going to be a 5-drop. On the 4-pin for Chris Curley. For the spare. Yes, he's got it. Chase bidding for a spare on a single. He's got it.